Okay. Yes, this worked. Yeah, I'm getting data from YouTube. Yes, it's always good. Yay, YouTube is getting data. Am I showing live on the actual page? I don't know. I'm going to go so. Hi. Welcome. I'm just thinking this is the first time that I'm actually... Hang on. Yeah, I am getting audio. Okay, cool. This is the first time that I'm actually doing a live stream on this channel. I think this is the first time that I'm going to be hearing my voice on this channel. So that's fun. I'm just posting the stream in a couple of Discord servers just because it'd be nice to get people watching. And being able to talk to me whilst I'm doing practice visual effectsy type stuff. There we go. So, hi. So I got contacted recently about a potential thing where some students at the college that I used to be a student at are requiring some visual effectsy type work. So I said yep. Because I'm always down for visual effectsy type stuff. And you know what? I thought it'd be fun. I'm not going to reveal the project any more than I have to by... have I not set my bit rates? Ha! 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 Oh, that's a bit silly of me. I've not set my bit rates. Okay, fine. Will that update whilst live? That is the question. Oh! Okay, I think that has actually updated. Awesome. Yeah, I'd forgot to check. I've been mucking about with OBS's settings because I run multiple accounts and I wanted to keep visual effects separate from my Minecraft stuff. In doing so, I'd forgotten to adjust OBS away from the default 2500 kilobits per second because I'm a muppet apparently. Cool. We're now pushing 8 megabits per second. Awesome. So, what is it I'm doing today? It's basically it's a particle sim to create a nice atmosphere. Initially, it's going to be a couple of particle sims, I think. I'm just having a look at the script, and I'm going to have to avoid reading it out loud because I don't want to ruin the project, because I think the plan is to put it in festival circuits and all that kind of jazz. The basics is going to be, I think, glowing particles that are kind of floating to give a nice atmospheric thing. I think that bit's going to be easy. I'm then also thinking maybe more particles towards... Okay, right. A lot of this isn't going to make sense until I start getting visuals in here. So let's start getting visuals in here. Let's hop into the camera. Let's... Oh gosh, it's been a while. How... I'm not in the camera view, that's why. Camera, background images, add an image. Let's add in... Where have I put it? Is the question. Did I just leave it in my downloads folder? I've just left it in my downloads folder. That's kind of muppety. What's it? It's going to be right at the bottom. That. Okay, that's... I want to crop it. because I want it to be the 16 by 9 image. Okay, cool. Let's also lock the camera to view, because we need to be able to move the camera about so we can line up the floor plane with, I think, a plane. Let's just get an idea of where our floor really is. Right, this is a 2 meter by 2 meter thing. Does the image that I grabbed from the client have metadata on it? I should have checked this, really. Details. Oh, please tell me. 35mm focal length. Okay, that is actually really helpful. So I set my camera's focal length to 35mm. This is not going to be perfect. I also think that this is on a slight hill. But yeah, that something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I am also going to put a couple trees in here as well. When I say couple trees, I'm talking primitive trees. Sort of tree. It's just so when I'm in 3D, I can see where things are. It's always quite useful to see where things will be, I think. So, yeah. That's... what width have I got that? Just under a meter. Okay, so the diameter of that tree is just under a meter. It's still quite thick. It's still quite chunky. Okay. It's been a while since I've done anything like this, though, so you'll have to excuse me for the slight not sureness. No, I did not mean to move the camera. I've got to remember to tab out of the camera if I want to move the camera. Right, these two need to move down ever so slightly. They're too high. That is... We're definitely on a bit of a hill, looking at the image. I kind of want... Okay. Let's add in maybe a giant cube. My plan for this cube is to have it being... Let's do this as a ambient parts. No, don't rename the... Okay, why is that still ambient parts? Okay. It's just so I know if I'm having multiple particle systems in this. It's just so I know where what is what. Okay. So I think to begin with, this is going to be quite mathematical, potentially. I want the source to be the volume. Okay. I want to increase the lifetime randomness. I maybe don't want them to be quite as affected by gravity. I think these are getting affected by gravity a little bit too much. Okay, let's go into physics. No? Hmm. It's been a while since I've done a particle system. I've got to admit that. It's been a while. Right, field waves. Gravity, let's turn that. Ooh. Already that looks nicer. Okay, right. I don't need this camera window here. That's not doing anything for me. So let's just remove it for now. My default Blender file, I have a camera window here because normally I'm not doing quite as much in the properties panel over here. All right. We don't want to be rendering. Render. Do not show emitter. So if I was to hit render, we get the trees, we don't get anything else. Because we're not actually telling the renderer how to render the particles. Okay, let's create a new collection. Let's call this particle objects. Everything that's inside this collection will be collection particle objects. Pick random. Currently, there's nothing in this collection. Literally nothing there. Doesn't exist. There's no data to go off. That's fine. I want to pick random. I want to. I don't want to use jump. Okay. All right. Let's see. This cube is huge. Let's just ignore how huge that is. And actually, part emitter. Let's just hide that for now. Okay. Let's then add in. See, I was mucking about with this a little bit yesterday. My original test was with metaballs. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be the right way to go about this. Okay, so let's bring that ray down so we can at least see what we're doing. Right, so if we render, that's actually almost kind of nice. Okay, let's make that bigger. That's our ground plane. Oh, yeah, no, I've definitely got the camera angle here, so slightly wrong there, haven't I? I think that's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. And I'm almost thinking with that, shrinky down. This isn't quite working for me. So let's customize the mesh of this a little bit. I need that to be basically where the camera is. No, the camera inside. This, I guess, can be a little bit closer. Basically, what I'm trying to do is condense where the particles are. So, at the moment, we can see the top of that, and I don't like it. Let's shove that out to the side, that out to the side. So, theoretically, We're miles away from those trees. Okay, I do need to still mess with the shape of this a little bit. And actually, that's great. That means I can condense this even more. The more condensed it is, the higher volume of particles we're going to be getting. At least that's the way I see it. Anything outside of that, I don't really care so much about. Just double check, is that the side that I think it is? No, that's the camera side. Okay. I kind of want to... Is that bringing the sides in? Yeah. Basically, what I'm doing at this point is seriously controlling the behavior of this thing. Okay, so all of that is happening outside the camera's field of view. Awesome. I might give the camera a little bit more space, a little bit more to play with. I'm not overly happy with how tight that is. Basically, we want a little bit of space for particles to float in and out. Okay, so I'd say those particles have a little bit too much movement. Possibly. Le possible. Okay. Sorry, my computer's complaining about not having a huge amount of space. Oh no, I'm fine. I've got 200 gig remaining. How do I slow them down? Hang on, I'm getting called. Yep. Sorry about that. Family talking to me about food, specifically bananas and custards, which is always appreciated. We're getting a weird kind of movement now. Why are they? Have I told them to move randomly? No. Hmm. That's kind of funny. I am emitting from volume. Let's see. Let's see. No, that's rendering. Go away, render. I don't care about the render at the moment. We can deal with how this looks in a bit. I wanna try and get. See, I just thought, dampening. Why is their initial speed so high, though? That's why. Let's bring that right down to something like 0.2. No. They still getting affected by gravity? Have I still got... Oh, yeah. I have still got a little bit of gravity on there. Okay. And I'm thinking, actually, let's bring the lifetime up to something like 200 frames. Okay. 250 frames? They're all going to disappear at frame 200. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think actually maybe turn gravity up. Just be gone gravity. No, no. No, it's too much dampening. Something like that, though. That's pretty cool. Okay. Scale. Hmm. How do I set the scale of each particle? Ah, because I think the particles are way too big at the moment, which causes issues. No, let's set that to a 0.02. See, this is where I think metaballs kind of fall apart a little bit. So what does that look like in a render? Yeah, they just don't quite know how to render that small. Which, not gonna lie, isn't great. Okay. So, I think what I gotta do is swap that out for an actual mesh. Doesn't need to be high res. Actually, I don't want it to be a UV sphere. Swap it out for an ICO. looks dreadful at the moment, I'm well aware. Oh, actually, hang on. If we were to render, yeah, it looks dreadful. Okay, but what we can do, we can add a subdiff mod onto this ICO. In fact, let's do subdiff 3. No. Which is ridiculously high level. We don't need it to be that high level. Subdiff 1, and then on the render pass, have that at 3. Yeah, immediately better. Immediately better. Okay. And you know, I think that is quite nice in terms of the atmosphere it's giving as well. I'm almost tempted. Right, these all need to be not shown on the render. This needs to not show on the render. The only thing I want to show on the render is that, which I think looks pretty cool. Right, okay, we need to add materials into this. So, let's go into a shader editor. Actually, no, let's... Typically, I would do this in a separate window, but because I'm streaming, I'm not gonna. So, let's just change this timeline out for shader red. But begin with, let's get the world lighting. Be gone with this light. Not needed. We are going to light using a sky. Was that the only sky? No. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit bright. Okay, so the image that I'm going off for the lighting is that. So the sun's quite low and nowhere near that intense. So 15 degrees, 15, 15, 15, 15. And actually, hang on, what direction? Like that, I think. Okay. I wonder, does that actually make a difference to the lighting? It does. Okay, we're gonna keep that as is then. So if I render that, I've turned off the floor, haven't I? Is the light doing what I'm expecting? I've closed the image because I'm a muppet. Actually, you know what? I'm not convinced. I am not convinced by that. Maybe. Maybe the elevation is higher. It just feels way too bright. Just, yeah. Oh, so that's all set for being in the middle of a city. Okay, let's bring the intensity of the whole thing down. No? Okay, right, fine. You know what? I'm going to multiply the color by a warm orangey hue. I think. Just not getting much of it come through. Maybe something like that. And then bring the strength down to a 0.5. Oh, yeah, now way too orange. Okay, cool. Now we've got that sorted. We know what our world is looking like. We want glowy orange, well, glowy particle thingamabobs. I've already set that to smooth. That's cool. Oh, it's already material in here. Sweet. Now this, I could do a couple ways. I could do a volume scatter, which I think is probably... Can I do glowy from that? No, I kind of want glowy. What's this? Not sure. Okay, let's just do a printable vol. Bring the density down maybe to 0.2. So it's very much see-through. Emissions up to a 1. Nice glowy red. There we go. I do apologise. I am back with food now. Bananas and custard, always good. Anyway, what was I doing? We actually might need to bring that emission way up. Actually, you know what? In this environment, that looks pretty cool. In the render settings, I am going to turn on transparency because that is going to be vital. Looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? Okay, why are you looking rubbish? Why are we looking so rubbish? Yeah, no, that just looks terrible. Boo. Okay, fine. I'm guessing I crank that up. Slightly closer. Obviously, the red is nowhere near what we're wanting. So I'm almost not sure what to think about. I'm going to save the project because it's vital to do saving. I'm wondering, can we put it through a decent compositing thing? Oh, can I? Can I access the composite tree from another project? Technically, no. Right, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load up another project, dump its compositing tree into a single node, basically. Oh, they've just renamed. They've just retextured groups. Okay. Select group. No. Make into group. Call this group camera sim comp. Okay, so the reason I quite like this tree, if I just unplug it from that, because that's just going to break, because I don't have access to that anymore, so... Actually, no. I still want the file output thing as a thing, but let's just shrink this down ever so slightly, make it a little bit neater. Right, if I was to render this shot, it starts off nice flat render, almost perfect. Oh, it's gone black. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to go black and white. Why have you gone black and white? That's a noisy image. That's a combined view layer composite. Okay, something's gone wrong. Haha. Something's gone wrong with this composite tree. Ah, that's annoying. Okay, never mind. Either way, let's just save and reopen the other project. With this comp tree, let's now append from LaunchTube, because that's the project that I've just done a thing from camera. Camera sim comp, append. Camera sim, there we go. At the moment, this won't work. What? Yeah, no, I've broken it. Why? Why is this broken? Sometimes I love Blender. What's really annoying is I can't think how to... Right, scene, add, input. Right, we've got nothing in the commentary. There we go, right. There we go. Okay, so now we have camera. I mean, we're getting nice glowy stuff. We're getting nice glowy stuff. It's the wrong color and very starry. Right, so let's go into here. Let's figure out what's going on. Okay. I think that looks a bit better. I don't know where all the color's gone though. So let's just... That's not the problem. It's going to end up being grading, isn't it? The lens is working. Okay. Dot product into film M. The issues in the film emulation. Okay. Why? Right. Something in here is broken. I'm not entirely sure what. It's the halation. Is it the halation? No, it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be touching it. Okay, at this point, I am genuinely confused. I'm loving the lens effects I'm getting, but is this one of those things where I'm just going to have to add color back in After Effects? Maybe I use Blender to create the part sims and then After Effects to reintroduce color? That seems slightly counterintuitive, right? Let's go for a multi-layer EXR. With transparency on, which it is. Alright, for now, let's just bypass. Oh, gosh. Let's bypass one of the glares. Yeah, that's better. Because, like, actually, wait. Actually, if this is coming out as a black and white image, I don't need to worry about multi-layer EXR. There's no color information anyway. So what I could do, instead of outputting multi-layer EXR, because it's just a waste of space if I'm not getting the information anyway, dump this out as a PNG, group output. Do I need that? No, it wasn't doing anything. Okay. Save to file. What's it called? Output. File output. No name. I just want to double check that that's going to work. Because if I've not got that in the right place, I'm in trouble. That's still come out as an EXR. Poop. Why is that coming through as an EXR? So, image. No, it's still saying output.png. Yes, I want to delete that. Right. I need to have a look at how it's set up in the other project. I can't remember how to set it up. File output in the node settings folder. No. Use different format instead of node format for this file. Okay. Right. No, that should be the same settings that I'm pulling on here. Okay. This is just being fun. Yay, Blender. You're being a pain in the backside. Overwrite. Timeline. Let's just get particles doing a thing. Let's see. Comp. I'm now overriding. No glowy? Yes, glowy. Still called output.png. That's not what I want it to be. How do I get it to... Is it something to do with this? Metadata... No. Right, okay, let's just try it. Oh, that's working. That's actually putting the frame numbers in. Hey! This thing was driving me nuts. Only 250 frames of this. Actually, while that's doing a thing, I reinstalled After Effects yesterday. Specifically for this project. Last session shouldn't have ended in a oh, because I did have After Effects before. Okay, do not migrate. I don't care. This is technically a fresh thing. Now, at the moment, we've got no holdouts for where the trees are. I need to do that properly. I've also got no holdouts for where the ground is. So effectively what this is going to look like when I pull this into After Effects is just a load of sparkly dots over the top of an image, which isn't ideal. But we can run it as a test. I wonder. Yeah, no. No previous comps. Let's not import file for now. Let's set up our composition at 24 frames per second. I need to ask the client what their output is going to be. I don't actually know. Test 1. I can't actually import any footage until this is rendered, so... Actually, no, I can. I can import the image. So, let's grab the image. So, it's this image. Pull this in, and yeah, we're just way too far zoomed in. Actually, I say way too far zoomed in. It's not actually as bad as I thought it would be. Zooming out, zooming out, zooming nearly. It's been a while since I've used After Effects, right. When I say it's been a while since I've used After Effects, I mean it's been a long while. Let's try and do this semi-properly. That is way more sensitive than I remember it being. That wants to be 93.8, okay. So ever so slightly over, but it'll do for this test. Alright. I'm also wondering if there's a way to do particle simulation in After Effects. Let's do a quick Google. Particle system After Effects. There is actually a way to do it in After Effects. Okay, let's add in a solid. Part sys test. Yes, I don't know if the particles themselves will have any kind of glowy colours on them, so let's make that a nice yellow. Sure. Down here, it looks terrible. What a shame. Oh, this is the first time that I'm loading up any effects and presets, isn't it? Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Particle Systems 2. Let's have us look. Ha! No! That looks dreadful. Alright, let's have a look at the physics. Yeah, no, screw gravity. I kind of don't want it to be quite so explodey-wody. I think the explodey-wody is just... Oh, we do... okay. Hmm. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not overly fond of how this is working, not gonna lie. I think using the ones rendered out of Blender will look way better. Oh, we've still got another 60 frames to go. I mean, it's only about 2 seconds a frame. It's not actually that much of a hardship. It's just... why? Okay. Okay. What'll be really interesting is if this compositing has worked throughout the entire thing. I know with my spaceship project, it had issues, let's say. Let me call up the reference image that client originally gave me. Yeah. Okay, so it does look like I've got way too many particles for the ambience, but along the right potential track. There we go. All 250 frames rendered. Nice. I'm not sure what that is in seconds, so... that many seconds. Alright, let's import... Actually, no, I need to set up my import settings. Preferences, import. And this is why. 24 FPS. Okay, right. Import file. I'm in the wrong place there. PNG sequence. Import. And let's see. Oh. Oh, that's not good. That is very not good. Okay. What? That's got me worried. The Where's all of my data gone? Image and that. What? Um. What? That's every single frame that's failed. Absolutely every frame that has failed there. Have I missed something? I am. Genuinely. It's like it wasn't even turning it to a comp. What? Have they changed something in this version of Blender that I've not been made aware of? Output. Right, the color manager. All that's fine. All that's fine. What's gone wrong? Frame 98. Is it something that's gone wrong with asking it to render video? This is. Okay, this is bizarre. I do not understand. Why is this being a pain in the neck? View layer. Coming from scene. Yeah, it's fine. Is compositing nodes... Right, for one, the compositing should have been on the GPU. I don't know why it wasn't. Um, I may have to double check that this is doing what I want it to do. Blender, compositor, render, animate. Okay. When you have node editor open and have an image editor with the input, you can select multiple images. No. I have a file output. This should be saving exactly what I do when I'm asking it to do a thing. Right? What it feels like it's doing is not using the file output node. Um, genuinely confused. Failed to retain CUDA con... What? Okay, now this entire thing is mucking up. Where's my glowies? Genuinely, where's my glowies gone? Right, that's frame 98. 98, 98, 98. How's that updated? No. Oh, there are my glowies. Yeah, but not there. Genuinely not sure what's going on with this. Right. What version of Blender am I on? It might be that this version of Blender is being weird. So, let's see. Blender 5.0.1. Composite render animation. Right. No, that's rendering. That page is about rendering animations. That's not useful for me. That's not useful for me right now. Composite tab use node. Tools removed. Just click on the top. Hang on. Is this confusing things? Group output? No. Group input. That should be fine. Film emulation. Grading. Yeah, white balance. Yeah, the only place where this... Right. Render... Just give me the raw output of that frame. The raw output of that frame looks like... Yeah. Doesn't look great. Actually, if I put them on a black back... No. In all honesty, I have no idea what's going on with this. It's not playing ball. I reckon there might be... there's an issue with the composite tree. So... For now, let's just skip everything. Right. No. You know, I'm also going to just delete everything in the output folder because it's just absolute rubbish. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm getting on the output is not what I'm asking for. Right. That's because I skipped everything. But realistically, this should work. Okay. Which means realistically, this should work. Which it hasn't. I think there's an issue with this node. Potentially. Let's maybe try not overriding the node format. Is that what's breaking it? Why has that failed to render? Failed to... What? To retain coup de context blend. I have never had this issue come up before. I do not understand. Right, swap over to an OpticX. What? Why? I have no idea. Seems that the issue is OpticX denoising in general. File paths. No? System. Is it an issue with Vulkan? Right, let's try reopening in OpenGL. Honestly, I've never had that issue before, so I have no idea what's going on with that. Why are we not compositing? Excuse me? Right, input. Render. Don't tell me that was the issue the whole time. No, it's still not. Renderer. I think this version of Blender is being fun. Mm-hmm. Input pass from a scene render. Should be going from the view layer. I think I'm having way more issues than I should be with this because I should be able to pull. Right. Just disconnect that. And disconnect that. It's not what I'm wanting. All I want is to just get an output working. But that looks dreadful. Why am I not able to pull? Honestly, really confused right now. Okay. Cool. Fun. Thank you, Blender. You're a pain in the neck at times. Right. So the issue is it's not outputting this for some reason. I've got nothing going on there. Why? I don't know. Because the composite is due to be happening. It is happening. It's there. You can see the result of it there. But I hit render. Compositing done. View layer, combine, noisy image pattern. It just doesn't exist. So, why are we not existing? I genuinely have no idea. I want to be pulling this image out. The viewer node. The render result is just... What if I pull the noisy image through? No? Okay, cool. Oh, now you're playing ball. But is it going to play ball with animation, or am I seriously going to have to sit here one at a time? Because if it's sitting here one at a time, that is a waste of time. No, it's... I wonder if what is happening is... wait a minute. I don't want it overwriting here. Oh, is this what's overwriting? Am I overwriting in the wrong direction? No. Oh, but frame 6 works. Something weird is going on here, though. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about it. Okay. How to get this to do what I want it to do? Output path. The output path is fine. I'm not so worried about the output path. Color management is fine. That's doing what I'm expecting to do. Save as render. Apply render part of transform while saving. Is that what's going wrong? Let's try that. I've got one usable frame this entire thing. What? Oh. One usable frame. One usable frame. This is driving me nuts. This is actually driving me blinking nuts. Ah! Right. Apply render part of display transform while saving by image. Fine, give me an EXR version and give me a JPEG version. At this point, I don't blinking care. I just want something that works. Codec as a zip. I can read that. Why is it not doing that? Right. Wait, what? Oh, that's working. So, the issue was this bit. The issue was that bit. That is infuriating. I was hoping to not have to have EXRs in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, EXRs are brilliant. They're useful. I'm not dealing with multi-layer stuff. So why do I need EXRs? But I'm getting image sequences. It's frame 1, seriously empty. It's a single dot. Oh, this is infuriating. How did I get it working on the other thing then? Because at one point I had it working on my other project. Am I still getting movement at this point? Yeah. Okay, cool. We're just gonna render this, and then we're gonna pull it into After Effects, see what we could do with it in After Effects, and then hopefully we get something decent. Now I haven't got everything that I need in place to make it feel more 3D. Because to do that, I would have to actually build the trees that are going to act as holdouts, so I can have particles hiding behind trees and all of that jazz. I also don't know where this shot needs to be in focus, so absolutely everything is in focus. Which, to be fair, a lot of that is in focus, so that's going to work. Fine. Okay. This has been more tricky than I thought it would be. This has genuinely stumped me more than I thought it would. Right, how are we doing on this? 127 frames. We're talking minute and a half. No, that'd be dreadful. Second and a half per frame. We are ray tracing. We are using OpticX now because I moved off CUDA because CUDA was not playing ball. I don't know if it was CUDA not playing ball or whether it was Vulkan not playing ball. I should have probably tested that properly, but one of the two wasn't playing ball. It's now playing ball, hopefully. This folder just feels like I'm making a starscape. I promise that wasn't the idea, but it does look pretty cool as a starscape. And actually, because it's effectively a black and white image, I don't have to worry about the transparency of the dots being wrong. What I do need to worry about is actually compositing them in and making sure I still get that nice fade off. Because the whole reason I'm fighting the compositor in Blender is to get that fade off. I want the glowiness from Blender. It's the whole point of it. I've not applied any motion blur, which, to be fair, I probably should, but that'll be in terms of the details on the motion blur. I need to figure out. Well, it's not. I need to figure out. I need to know what the camera settings on the physical camera are going to be. I don't have that information at the moment. So, I am hoping they're going to shoot with a shutter angle of 180 degrees because that will give the most natural motion blur. But this isn't my project, so I don't know if that's what they're going to be shooting at. They might have less motion blur than 180 degrees. I also don't know the output size, and I don't know the actual frame rate, which is information I do need to get off them. But then again, I'll end up getting that information when they send me footage. So that information will be baked in footage. Given the fact that they're planning on pushing this to the festival circuit, I'm going to assume 4K, which means I'm desperately under resolution here. I'm rendering at 1080p. But this is a test render, so I don't need to worry quite so much about final output here. This is just a proof of concept. One thing I do want to test in AE is getting a nice little bit of glow from the particles. Right, let's just refresh this, because reload footage, dumpy in. Oh! What was that? Yeah, okay, still got some weirdness going on. Don't know what that's about. But I can re-render the frame. This is where the ability to render individual frames is really useful. Because I can isolate the frames that I've mucked up. Right. Let's set this to screen. Hey, look, we got sparklies. Looks a little bit rubbish at the moment because they're not dodging behind the trees and that, but we got sparklies. Actually, I'm kind of very happy with how that looks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not great at the moment. Right, okay. Oh, American spelling. Let's see, what color gen stuff can I chuck on there? What about chocolatometry on there? The highlight tone, let's have that as a nice golden yellow. The shadow tone as more of an orange. Oh, that's almost perfect. Oh, that is almost perfect. Now I've got to imagine we've got a heavy density of particles running up there. That's going to involve more 3D work. But proof of concept. Proof of concept. Okay, let's figure out exactly what frames are buggering up. Which is gonna be slow, but I've got to remember what the hotkeys are for moving forward a single frame. Not that. I did know it off by heart at one point. Is it page up and down? Yeah. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's... Okay, frame 18. And this is where quite a lot of my process comes in now. Question is, has that actually replaced frame 18? Or has it just done a weird dumpy? Yeah, it's just done a weird dumpy. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that, but in here, remove 18 and rename this to 0018. No! 0018. Now, theoretically, if I reload okay, I'm wondering if the particle system hadn't quite rendered properly. Let's grab me a timeline. There we go. We've got a couple of particles on directly on top of each other, though. That's interesting. Okay, you know what? I kind of want to re-render this entire thing with motion blur. Because we have got motion, it stands to reason there would be motion blur. Right. I'm turning off camera to view as well because I keep accidentally breaking it. Okay, so one motion blur good. Let's move this into a new folder. So the EXRs will end up in a brand new folder. We're also going to pull the actual outputs into a new folder as well. I think that's going to be very important. What else was it I was going to do? I was going to do something else, but I can't think what. So instead of worrying about what it is I was going to do, let's just pull this into there. As well. Yep. I think that's good to go. Right, let's go. It's going to take roughly the same amount of time as the last one. This is what I do with a lot of my spare time. It's just sitting here rendering. And yeah. I love the fact I'm pointing at the screen with my real life hand as if you guys can see it. But see, we're getting motion blur. It looks so much better with motion blur. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to add an actual depth of field. Oh, well, we can do that on test 3. Whoa. That's not right. It's funny, but it's not right. What? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's kill it now. That's very much wrong. I kind of still want to test 1. I still want to see what it looks like, right? Import file, renders to PNG sequence, import. Test 2. This is going to look fantastic. Have this also set to... to... Yeah, I don't know what was causing that weirdness to happen. Well, it's pretty funny. Alright, let's copy the color settings across. That is most definitely not what we're wanting. Whoops. I am curious though, how different is the particle system? It's different, but also not really. Okay. Okay. That is... that's not right. That's very much not right. God damn it. Alright. I might have to rethink this a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is end this stream here because your brain fried. I think that's what happens when you're trying to do this kind of thing at 9 o'clock at night. I think it's very funny, but it's also not correct. So I need to rethink my tactic. I don't know why the particles are misbehaving like that. That makes no sense. I think what I'm going to do... I'm not going to send that version as a demo. I'll send this version as a demo. Bugs and all. Because I think it's still... actually, let's just screenshot. I wonder what that looks like on OBS. I have never done that before whilst recording. Yeah. I'll send that screenshot. Get their opinion. I'll let them know that I'm having a few issues. But yeah, that's why I'm calling it. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, let me know. I might do some more stuff on this channel. Anyway, that's it for me. Good night. Wrong outro.